All right. Now the Sunday spot broke out, and I was just chatting to Emma about how much more power comes in. The old setup, you can only get about 2.75, roughly 2.7 was the highest. And as I was talking, it was getting up to 2.8, 2.9, 3,000 sitting there. And I went, look, we can get a little bit more in now. It's a new system. And then I was thinking at the same time, thinking, hang on, but it's not the new systems, it's absorbing it. It's the old one, Emma. And so it could be the position. Maybe you have to change the setting, as I was talking about not long ago, about how it used to absorb too much power. Remember that? Yeah. And you know what it just did as I was sitting here talking about it? Definitely when the devil's around. Now I notice when the devil's hanging around being a smart ass, it does tricks, as I've talked about a lot, that Emma doesn't believe is true and can be a fairy tale. And it is for a lot of us, isn't that right, Emma? Yeah. Right? And that's her opinion. But I talk about that I've noticed a pattern when the devil's around. Right? It's called a devil energy. It's around. It can be more higher than lower. Right? You can know by the outcomes of when you try to approach it. It won't allow you to, right? Because the devil's around. It's doing what it does, right? And until you take it out yourself, sometimes these energies, you have to take things in your own hands, sadly. If you don't, you become the slave of the devil. Hey, Babbers. And so I will take the devil out if I need to. It believes I won't, right? And it will have all its friends to stop me from doing that, as it's already trying to do all around us today. And so what's happened now is it went over to 3,000 level, and now I've got to go out and reset it. And when that happens, if you're right about the devil, you might find that the devils will be around, circling, doing the vulture kind of thing, right? Which is what I'm capturing on cameras now. And it's another story about, can you see who's around all the time on my cameras? But they don't want me to talk about it, or they want the system so fucked up that your family can't talk about it. Everyone's too busy, as I've talked about it in these certain areas, which is very sad. And so now I'm about to go out and reset this system as it malfunctioned all of a sudden, which it hasn't done for a long time, which I was just talking about settings. But if the devil knows about it, what it can do is it can tap into that energy and go, I'll make it happen now, to be a smart ass. Oh, look like it did it again. It wasn't me. You know what I mean? And that's the devil's story. So how would you know when the devil does that? And that's why we study, record, and find out who is hiding information, because that or doesn't want information to be seen, the truth, because they're part of the devil. The devil could be infiltrating them, or the devil themselves, right? Anyway. And so I've been going through these things, and that's why I'm in the issues I am, and I have to go deal with these issues, and still dealing with these things at the moment as this devil energy keeps sending me this shit, so I have to deal with the issues, which is what I'm talking about with the secondhand inverter that's being used with rusty parts on it, and it's like they've attempted to clean it. It's meant to be brand new. Devil tricks, which is what I'll be talking to the police about and stuff like that, how bad it gets and how these people like to hide things, including the police themselves, infiltrating these areas and part of these areas. Isn't that sad? Which is what we're having here at Wodonga about bad police themselves, inefficient police, and how they do things and how we've got to do things more for ourselves. Now look at that. Suddenly, Emma, it's working. Now, when was the last time I did that? As I was just talking about yesterday, that I didn't have to go out there, as it wanted to work. Now, who talks about things when they stop being a dickhead, stop using energy and shit, which is in a Bella story, actually, Emma, about the devil, finally stop doing shit because it's getting caught. That's when you beat the devil, you see. And hopefully one day that'll happen. But look at that, it automatically come back on like the system's meant to do when it works properly. Picks and chooses, eh? Would that have happened if I didn't talk about it? Right? Because I was about to go out there and talk about some more stuff. But I won't now, because something nice has happened, perhaps. Or is it, I earned it? You get it? I fought back. So look at that. Anyway, I'm going to go show you where this is coming from and what's still there. What's still in it? Still a pile of rocks. as I was talking about earlier. That's what they do. They're smart asses, and they send you piles of rocks because they get to such a cocky point where they believe they can do anything. Isn't that right, Emma? And I was expecting something to be dodgy when it comes to the next inverter, wasn't I, Emma?
Yeah.
Were you expecting that one? I was expecting a new unit with another bullshit issue, right? That can be easily tampered with the mail system and that, which I can discuss later on. If you don't believe that'll happen, you're an idiot. So anyway, let's just go out and go, look, amazing. It worked automatically without all these previous videos that I've been showing you about the fault. Now in the Bella story, it says when the devil finally goes away, so does its problems that it come when the devil arrived, which is what I talked about with a certain person that's protected here. They talk about the protection of the devil, right? And what happened. But there you go. See, come all back on. Didn't do the wiggle and the jiggle. Still got these two systems running. Ever since I tried to get a brand new system, look at the issues I'm getting. Right? Perhaps the issue will go away. That'll be a devil thing, wouldn't it? Now I fixed it for you. You get the ego of the devil? I get it. So if you never get the ego of the devil, you're never going to see it, are you? That's one part of it. The ego of the devil. Right? And the one big problem the devil has, which is why it's got a big ego, it's got a big ego and it gets jealous of everything. That's how I see it. And if it can't win, it runs off. Right? And that's sad. And that's why I've been talking about recently to my family and other people why I'm taking the last final step before I go do it, is that all I wanted to people to do was go confront this thing that tells me that we can't. And I've got the evidence. Here's the evidence. You say it's right. So instead of just me confronting it, can you? And you might find that might be difficult in certain areas that I've talked about until at least you do it yourself. And that's when God comes back in about freedom of speech and all the rest of it. And how we got that over time is that we end up getting it back ourselves, don't we? When issues end up happening. So there you go. You might not get all that, but I certainly do. And hopefully one day that you do. But when you know when the devil's gone, because the issues will go away, right? The same shit won't continue. So if you're getting things that are continuing, more likely you have this devil influence energy problem about. And see you later. And in my life, it's not too hard. I've been showing them in comments. They're really cocky, like I was talking about before, and it's trying to get me locked up. And I told the devil recently, well, I'll let you have that. And it got confused and then said after that, which is what it does, it twists things. Why would you want to go there? That's odd. I guess it's for freedom of speech and for truth and knowledge. And they don't want to see it, sadly. Bye.